Well, we are here for the next in our series of COVID-19 clips. I'm John Boquette with the Newtown B and joined by Health District Director Donna Culbert and Newtown First Selectman Dan Rosenthal here on Friday the 17th of April. Donna, sadly, as we reported a couple of days ago in the B, you are now kind of turning a chapter in this horrible story with the news of several deaths here in Newtown. Let folks know your thoughts on that and what they should take from that news.
Yes, thank you, John. Yes, it is a painful reminder this week that we have lost some of our beloved residents, and it's important that people remember that the COVID-19 is an insidious problem for us. It may be a mild illness for some, but it's a very serious illness for others. There's no really good way to know who's going to be affected. I've talked to many people of the whole age range, and there's been a variety of impact, and it's serious. And you know, it's just not what people think of as, oh, I'm going to get a cold, I'm going to get better. That might be true for some, but what they can spread to others could be very serious. So I just want people to be really mindful. Don't let your guard down. You need to protect yourself, but you also, when you do that, you protect everyone around you.
I wanted to ask the both of you about the upgraded order for wearing masks. Donna, before we went on camera this morning, you came into the office with your mask on. I'm wearing one now. I saw Dan has one on his desk. Just a word from a local voice on the practicality of wearing some sort of face covering whenever out in public, and also then switching to Dan for some words on the kind of feeling about this wanting to rush to reopen things, especially here locally. Donna, what do you have to say about the masks?
Sure. It's important that people wear masks or face coverings when they're going to be interacting with others, particularly folks that are not in your home. When you're in your home and your residence, that's kind of your circle of familiarity. But like here in the building, when we are working with others in the office, or we walk to other areas that we don't normally work in, we want to make sure that we're wearing face coverings. It's just as much to protect the other person. When you wear that face covering or that mask, you are keeping what's a potential virus to yourself and not infecting others. So, and that's really important out in the community, wherever you are, when you're out in the public, when you go to the store, you go in the grocery store, you go in the pharmacy. People talk to me about what happens when you're walking outside. I think walking outside is really important, getting some fresh air, getting some exercise. But if you have the potential of then interacting with others that aren't part of your family, you want to be prepared to put a face covering on so that you don't potentially infect others, or they could infect you.
Dan?
Yeah, not to revisit everything that Donna said, but I think we're wearing them as a courtesy to others more than anything else. So when we are out and about, as the governor suggested, we should be trying to wear a mask. It's not something that I think the police are pursuing people for, but it is something we should try to do as a courtesy to others. And before we move on, I do want to acknowledge the difficult task that Donna has in this whole process as she gets sensitive information from DPH on cases, and now unfortunately the deaths that we've had in our community. And certainly I echo Donna's comments. My heart goes out to the families of loved ones that have passed, especially now. It's to think that people haven't been able to get together with their loved ones that are very sick and have seen loved ones pass without ever getting to interact with them, and now not to be able to have closure with a funeral or wake or things like that right now is really particularly hard. And I feel terrible for those families and of course those that have passed.
How about in regards to this kind of rush to reopen? Are you hearing a lot of that from constituents here in Newtown?
Well, I think that certainly, I think that a lot of people have fatigue with the fact that we've been, mostly self-isolated now for 5+ weeks. But I think that there's signs for hopefulness. I'm a hopeful person. I'm an optimist. I think that there's been certainly a lot of sacrifice on all of our parts People have lost jobs, our healthcare workers are working unbelievable hours, our first responders, everybody that's been a part of trying to keep people healthy and safe. But, the economy certainly has suffered as a result. I think, I'm very proud of our town. I'm proud of our country in terms of the way we've responded to this. It hasn't all been even, and I think the reopening part won't be completely without some chaos either. And I think it's probably creating some anxiety, right? I mean, how do you reconcile the fact that you still have death and dying? We're still being told to wear masks out in public, yet at the same time, we're talking about opening the country. For me, I think that there's that, it's that light at the end of the tunnel. I think it's showing that what we're doing is bearing fruit so we can even begin talking about reopening, and I think that's encouraging. But it's also predicated on our still doing our part. Because if we go too quick, I fear that sort of if we have to go back into, like some other countries have gone back into stay-at-home orders and things after they've tried to reopen, and that's because they've done it too quick. And I think the lesson learned, and it seems like among policymakers from the federal level through the state level, we are talking about doing this in phases as a result, so that we don't go too quick and then wind up going back into, Lord knows we want to put this behind us as quickly as possible. And again, I can't stress enough that I think there's a lot of reason to be hopeful, but we still need to keep doing what we're doing. And I think that will allow us to move out of this that much quicker.
It's also important to know, Donna, that the Newtown Bee, as a media partner, has agreed with the idea that we're not going to run this day-to-day meter on tragedy and tragic loss to this virus, that we'll be only reporting on it through your office once a week, no matter whether we learn of additional deaths or not. We really appreciate what you have done so far in helping to keep the community informed, particularly through these videos and your almost daily comments to the Newtown Bee. Dan as well, thank you so much. My name is John Voquette. We are here with the next in our series of COVID-19 clips, our video outreach messages. Tune in to newtownbee.com daily, if not hourly, for our updates that we will continue doing, including during the weekends. Follow the Newtown Bee on Facebook and Twitter for all the local updates and emergency information. And we will visit again for our next clip in a few days. Thank you.
Thank you, John.